chance for Key Clubbers to participate in fun challenges while raising money for the Thirst Project, such as Ice Bucket Challenge, doing the polar bear plunge, which is really fun, and another one could be eating a watermelon. Just some of like the various things you guys could do throughout it. So to participate, we want you guys to post pictures or videos by tagging the PNW Key Club District Instagram, and then using the hashtag Thirst Project Bingo. You can do this on your Instagram story or on the actual account. And then for a blackout, you get a personal shout out, which is always really cool. You want the Instagram followers. The top fundraising club will get a highlight in the September fundraising spotlight that we will be doing, which would be really cool. So definitely participate. Moving on. So I published the Summer Espresso in July, and it's the 31st volume of the Espresso district-wide publication. If you guys didn't know, it's like the bi-weeklies and the newsletters you should be getting from your lieutenant governor. It has a lot of different stuff involved in it. It has executive updates, club spotlight, member spotlights, my decon story, and various other stuff. It can be accessed as a PDF on the PNW Key Club website or on Issue. We have a Issue account, but if you go straight through the PNW Key Club website, it'll just give you a direct link. I highly encourage you guys looking at it. And then moving on to the Thirst Project Summer Fundraising Guide. It was published at the beginning of August, if you guys haven't seen it yet. It is an incentive to use it, to create a new fundraising guide for each season. I will make one. It was developed by the Thirst Project Committee and designed by myself. So, for example, there was one for summer. We're going to have one for fall, winter, and spring. It talks basically what the Thirst Project is and various fundraising ideas you can do in the season, and then also highlights the Thirst Project Bingo Challenge. And then, if you guys haven't already seen, I've been doing the What's Poppin' PNW posts. So these posts are released the second and third Friday of each month. They include any divisional events or club activities. The first one was from AYS, the Alaska Division. We did one from the 27 Division, Division 28, and the most recent one so far has been Division 62. And it's just to bring awareness to other divisions and what they're doing right now and about. And then moving on to the YouTube channel. So we have a YouTube channel, if you guys haven't seen it. I know one of the most viewed videos is the Decon 2018 video, so it has that up there. We have updated our YouTube. We're using it more frequently than past years. We have included so far the Advisor Town Hall webinar, the PINMOF webinar, and the MGRC webinar. I am working on uploading the Kiwanis Family Relations webinar. I have uploaded it, but it's private right now. I just need to do a few little last changes, and then it'll be uploaded soon. And then the 2019 to 2020 District Board Awards Banquet, which it was held in celebration for the 2019-2020 District Board. And then stay connected, or KEY-NNECTED. We have the Instagram account, which is the PNW Key Club one. Please go follow. I regularly update it, and then we have the pnwkeyclub.org, which our webmaster Thomas updates frequently. We have a webinars section now, which you can locate all of the webinars so far. And then we have issue.com with PNWKC, so that's our account. And issue is not spelled like ISSUE, it's spelled with an extra U, so just when you put it in. And that looks like all of my update. And then moving on to District Treasurer Tara Mayapin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tara Mayapin. I'm from Division 28, and I'm your district treasurer this year. Just a couple updates from me. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was a district membership update as of the end of July. So currently we have 307 active clubs out of 332 clubs total. And our total member count as of August is 12,139. So each of these members has paid the $7 international dues fee as well as the $5.50 P&W district fees, resulting in a total of $12.50, making them a dues paid member of Key Club International and P&W Key Club. So just a little more about dues. As always, the early bird due date for dues collection is November 1st, 2020, and the regular due date is on December 1st. Keep in mind that December 1st is not the last day you can pay dues, though this is the regular due date. Dues can be paid up till February, but that is only for if you're really in an emergency situation, try to pay dues by early bird or regular. However, keeping in mind that COVID-19 has affected all of us in the P&W district, as well as Key Club International as a whole, Key Club International, it has issued a statement saying that for the 2020 to 2021 service year, which is this service year, they will not be suspending any clubs for non-payment of dues. So clubs will not be moved to inactive or suspended status as a result of a non-payment of dues this year. Does this mean I should not pay dues? The answer is no, because Key Club International will still utilize dues payments for this year, as we will use that money to help provide members with a number of virtual meeting resources in the fall, such as the platform you're seeing right now, such as the Zoom platform we're using right now. And also it's really important to stay in the habit of paying dues because we don't want to get out of the habit of doing that, so that next year it'll be, we can make sure that dues season goes smoothly. And also because dues help to fund P&W resources like the PINWAF and subscriptions to many virtual platforms that we'll be utilizing, and much, much, much more. So it's important to pay dues. So if you are able, paying dues is still very, very much suggested this year. But if it's not something that is feasible for you and your club, then don't worry about your status as your status with Key Club International and P&W Key Club being undermined because of an inability to pay dues. And now I just want to talk about the PINWAF. So this graphic that you see to the right is the 2019 to 2020 PINWAF recipient spotlight that editor Jessica Lober has created for us. It features 6 of the recipient schools from last year, and it just highlights their projects and how much they received and what they were able to accomplish. And you can check this out on the P&W Key Club website. So if you would like to check that out, feel free to go see it there. And it's also most likely has been or will be in your division's monthly newsletter. So just going into what the PINWAF is, the PINWAF, or the Pacific Northwest Opportunities Fund, is a district-wide grant program that provides both members and clubs the opportunity to help fund the costs of a service project that aims to benefit the Thirst Project, which is this year's district project, or the applicant's community at large. The grants range from, the grants given out range from $100 to $1,000, and they cover up to 2/3 of the selected projects. The PINWAF application officially opens on Thursday, September 1st, and closes on Saturday, October 31st. So the PINWAF application will be opening soon, so please keep your eyes out for that. And if you have any questions about the PINWAF or just questions in general, email pinwalk@pnwkeyclub.org, or the emails listed at the very end of this PowerPoint. And that's all from me. I'll now be handing it off to District Secretary Alice.
Hi, hello, PNW. My name is Alice Lee. I'm from Division 65 in the Portland Metro area, and I am a rising junior at Westview High School. I see some familiar names and faces in the chat, so that's pretty exciting. I will be moving on to my update. So starting off, flip slide, please, thank you. We will be talking about the secretary report. So the secretary report is the bulk of the club secretary's duties, and that is to turn in the report due the 5th of every month. And it's used to help determine club needs and develop resources, and that is especially important right now, especially during the pandemic, because we're dealing with a completely different situation than we're used to. Your questions are also relayed to the standing committees, so a lot of people have questions about membership growth and retention, or the PINWAF, and stuff like that is passed off to our committee chairs. So your questions, your input, and your report is very, very important. Flip slide, please. When you fill out the report, it can be accessed through the link bit.ly/PNW Secretary 2020, and anyone can actually fill out the secretary report in place of their secretary. So if you are at a school where you, for some reason, don't have a secretary and you're wondering, hey, has our school been turning in reports? Probably not if you don't know about it. If you're the president or vice president, you are probably the best person to fill in for the secretary when filling out the report, but you can also do it if you're the treasurer or any other member or officer, as long as you've been given the information that you need to fill it out. However, this isn't an invitation for like all 120 members of your club to fill out a secretary report on the secretary's behalf. That's not what I mean. I just mean that your officers should get it in every month no matter what. The golden window to fill this out is between the 1st and the 4th. You don't want to turn it in any earlier than the 1st because you would be missing out on information from part of the month, and you don't want to be turning it in or starting it any later than the 4th because you might have technical difficulties. That means you get it in later than the 5th. Just because your secretary report is late doesn't mean that it isn't being read. I do read all of them, but let's try and get them in on time. I do read the late ones, but you will get your feedback back later, and also information will be outdated by the time that it gets to us if you do turn in your reports late, so that's not very good. And if you have questions about anything there, you can email me or text me at the contact information that I've left on this slide, and you'll be able to find that later as well. Flip slide, please. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was meeting minutes, which are published to the PNW website after every district board meeting. We have been having virtual district board meetings hosted over GoToMeeting and Zoom, so the district board is still functioning and operating and trying to bring you the best resources and information possible. We held our spring board meeting in May, and we had our summer board meeting a few weeks ago in August, the first week of August, I believe. And the meeting minutes for both of those two meetings are up on the website. Our webmaster, Thomas, helps us to keep all of that updated whenever I release it. Just waved. You can access that through the link there, or you can go to the PNW website and it will be found under the tab Publications and Minutes. I work really hard on these. They take a lot of time, and it's also a very good way to keep in touch with what the district board is doing and what the PNW district is doing as a whole. It's a good way to sort of also get an inside look as to things that we're concerned about, things that we're talking about, ideas that we have and such. So it's a really good way to get involved. Flip slide, please. The next next one. Yikes. There we go. That's weird, it must have gotten duplicated. In terms of other publications, we have the district directory that has gone up very recently. This will be published, republished and updated on the 1st of every month. So if you have contact information that is missing here, or you're looking at it and you're like, hey, my email is wrong or mistyped or something, you can always email me with that query and I will update it every month. And then It can be accessed through the PNW website under Publications and District Directory, and this is found as a PDF. This is a good way to contact other clubs in your division or find your lieutenant governor, or if you are an AKey Club member and you're like an advisor or someone, you can also find people through here. If there's information that is missing from the directory but that you have, you can always submit it and I will get it updated in the next round as it updates in the PDF. So yeah, that's actually it for me. I will pass it off to our district governor, KEY Thornton. Legend woman.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is KEY Thornton, and I'm your current district governor, and I'm from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho in Division 48. The first thing I'd like to talk about is the 2021-2026 strategic plan. So every 5 years, the district governor launches a strategic planning initiative, and this is to allow the executive committee and the people of the district board to identify critical issues as well as develop goals for the future of PNW Key Club. So some of these critical issues may include virtual engagement, membership experience, leadership training, and so much more. And then the 2021-2026 strategic plan will be presented and approved at district convention this year. So we are currently looking for people to serve on the strategic planning committee, and there are 7 positions available. So 3 current Key Clubbers, you could be an executive, you could be on the district board, or you could be an officer, a member of your club. We're also looking for 2 Key Club advisors and 2 Key Club alumni. So if you know anyone who is interested or who would be interested, please relay this information to them, as we do have an interest form that's been sent through the biweekly update and also published on the PNW Key Club Instagram, and we would love for them to apply. So these committee members will be responsible for completing all assigned work, as well as attending 1 in-person meeting, which is subjective to the COVID-19 situation, and then also 2 virtual meetings that are sponsored by the district. So the interest form, as I mentioned, you can apply at the following link or by clicking the link through the PNW Key Club Instagram bio in our link tree. So the deadline to apply is Tuesday, August 25th at 11:59 p.m. PST, and that is coming up in 2 days. So make sure that if you're interested, you go ahead and fill out the application right away, or you let the people know who may be interested as well. So these selected members will then be contacted personally via email. The next thing, oh, go ahead. The next thing that I wanted to talk about is our virtual membership recruitment and a retention webinar. So we did have a membership webinar earlier hosted by our membership reactivation and retention committee, but we are going to be partnering with Tom Kriegelstein and also New York Key Club, as we did for our virtual team engagement webinar back in, I think it was June or May. But we're going to be doing one similar to that, except for this webinar is completely tailored to membership recruitment and retention strategies in the virtual environment, and that's going to be especially important and relevant moving into the fall, where most clubs actually are going to be hosting virtual meetings. So please make sure that you attend, that you tell your club officers and members to attend, and even advisors. We really want to get as many people there as possible. We have up to 250 spots for people from our district, and we would love for you to be there. So this is going to be next Sunday, so 1 week from now, on August 30th from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific time. The webinar registration, you can access it at the link that I've included on the screen, or also, once again, through the PNW Key Club Instagram bio. And all of our webinars are always sent through the biweekly update, and you can always take a look and read more there. You can find them on the PNW Key Club website, which I will mention further into this presentation. But the deadline to register is August 22nd at 11:59 PST. Wait, I think, sorry, I think that's that was the deadline for this webinar. So this registration deadline is actually going to be the 28th. So you still have a week to register. Just make sure that you register by Friday. And then you will receive the Zoom link via email prior to the webinar. So how to sign up for bi-weekly updates. I've mentioned these quite a bit because they're really important, and they include a lot of important information that we do release on a bi-weekly basis. So you can go to the PNW Key Club website, click on publications, bi-weekly updates, sign up, and then fill out your information to subscribe. So all of my past bi-weekly updates are saved on the website, and you can look at any of them at any time. So here's our contact information. You're welcome to contact any of the executive committee if you have any further questions that may not be answered during this webinar, and we'd be happy to help you. And also contact your lieutenant governor if you have any more specific questions about your club. They may be able to identify them easier for you. And now for our special guest, we have an update provided by our international trustee, Glory Kalu.
Hi everyone, my name is Glory Kalu. I am your international trustee for the 2020 to 2021 service year, and I also serve the Southwest and New York districts as well as PNW. So I just wanted to start off by giving a quick introduction about myself. So as I said, my name is Glory Kalu, and the name Glory actually was inspired by my grandmother, who is also named Glory, which is very nice. I currently live in Bloomfield, New Jersey. I am a rising senior at Bloomfield High School. Outside of Key Club, I participate in volleyball as a middle blocker. I participate in mock trial, and occasionally I partake in theater production as a stage crew member. My favorite hobbies include baking, drawing, and binge watching the latest episodes of 90 Day Fiancé. I love horror and comedy movies, appreciate most genres of music, am a Broadway fanatic, adore anything chocolate, and despise Doritos. Sorry, not sorry. So moving on. I wanted to address some commonly asked questions. So firstly, what is an international trustee? So an international trustee is a Key Clubber elected to serve as a liaison between the district and international level. Basically think of it as like an LTG, but for districts. So what do trustees do? Outside of aiding and supporting their districts, trustees are also tasked with the duties of serving on committees that work to focus on improving various aspects of the organization and creating resources for the use of Key Clubbers. So basically this year I am a subcommittee chair for diversity and equity. So I will be tackling making sure that there is a great representation of the various cultures, religions, and various groups that make up Key Club, while making sure that non-US districts are provided the same amount of resources as their US counterparts. So how many international trustees are there? So there are 11 international trustees. And in addition to that, there is an international president and international vice president. So how did I become an international trustee? I went through a somewhat extensive virtual election process where I recorded a speech and then answered multiple questions on 2 separate occasions. And after anxious waiting, I finally figured out that I was an international trustee, and that's how I'm here today. So how many districts do you serve? So every trustee is assigned to 3 districts, and those 3 districts make up what is called a district. This year, I am serving PNW, Southwest, and New York, and together, these 3 districts do make up the Specificity district, kind of like Epiphany, but Specificity, yeah. So moving on, bi-weekly updates. So starting next month, especially considering the fact that I just started settling into my job, I will start sending out bi-weekly updates to my districts. Each update will contain information about international events, resources, programs, district information, and whatever other information I get along the way. If you're ever interested in receiving these updates, you can always contact me, and I'd be happy to help add you to my email list for you to receive the updates as well. And moving on, so member representatives. Key Club International is looking for member representatives to serve on international committees. I think it's a great way for you to involve yourself on the international level and kind of get a feel of what we do on the international level in a sense without having to take up an international position. There will be definitely more information about this on the Key Club Instagram and website later on this month. And once that information comes out, you will be able to hopefully sign up where you can possibly serve on the subcommittee with me or a subcommittee with my fellow trustees. And then committee progress. So as I said, I currently serve as a subcommittee chair to diversity and equity. So our committee's main focus is basically to tackle the lack of representation of the diversity of our organization and work to better accommodate our non-traditional and non-US districts. So we do have some schools for the deaf or the blind that is part of Key Club organization. So we just are trying to work to make sure that they are accommodated and have all the resources they need to conduct service, especially during these hard times. And then we also have 4 international districts. And then we have, I don't even know how many, like non-districted clubs, such as in like Britain, Colombia, Malaysia, all these different countries I didn't even know about before I became a trustee. So we're just working to make sure they also have the right resources they need to maybe form a district themselves and also to conduct service. We are currently in the works of creating a day during Key Club Week dedicated to celebrating the diversity of our club. And we are also planning a call with district governors from non-US districts to discuss what we as an organization can do better to ensure that they are being accommodated and treated as equally as the US districts. And then moving on. So yeah, stay connected. If you ever want to reach out, I have my personal information right here. I also have my sister page for Specificity and also the Key Club International page if you ever want to check those out, basically. And that's it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Glory. So we will now be moving on to an open floor discussion. You're welcome to include any of your questions about your club or how your club's going to proceed in the fall in the chat, or you may be able to unmute your microphone and ask the question. So Katie Huyn asks, what is the agenda like for Key Club Days? So Key Club Days will include a Key Club alumni open panel discussion, and that's where we'll have Key Club alumni from each region there to talk about their past Key Club experience and how it helped them moving on further in life. We're going to have some different breakout sessions, including goal setting, public speaking, diversity inclusion, and then also mental health. And then we will be doing a Thirst Project activity after we have our Thirst Project speaker present. So Kellen Brewer, he's previously spoken at DCON, and then also some Thirst Project student leaders who've been the top fundraisers for their division in the past few years. We'll have them speak about their experience, and then during the Thirst Project activity, you'll be able to make some bracelets and water bottle tags with the materials that we send you, participate in a Miracle Minute, an online Miracle Minute, and also hear some divisional updates from each division in your region. And so to register, please go to the PNW Key Club shop, and it will cost $5 so that we can send you these mailing items. One question from Bryn, what platforms do you recommend for fundraising online? So there are a lot of different platforms to fundraise, but I think it would be easier for your club to receive Thirst Project fundraising recognition, especially if you use the PNW Key Club shop, because on the shop you can make a donation to the Thirst Project directly on there, and you can put your name and what club you're from, what division, and then we can directly track how much money that your club or division's been fundraising. And so I think if you ever want to do some fundraisers, definitely send all of your money to the PNW Key Club shop, and it will be accounted for, because you do have to turn it into the district at the end of the year anyways, and so it's easier to just get it out of the way.
And if you're talking about internal fundraising, we've been seeing a lot of new and creative ideas. We've been seeing contactless bake sales that have happened. We've been seeing like can drives for people living in areas that have can return fees. We've been seeing stuff where people have been selling merchandise and receiving the funds through Venmo and then delivering them. Right now, contactless fundraisers are probably the best idea. So you are going to have to sort of think outside of the box a little bit, but I think it is something that is possible and that a lot of clubs are starting to pick up on and do. We've also been seeing clubs that have been setting up things like just like donation pages on their websites, or opening up Amazon Smile pages so that they can receive funds virtually without having to be in contact with people. So if you're looking for something internal, that might be an idea. But I think right now, especially because needs for clubs to spend money is a lot, it's not as common right now. You don't have to spend nearly as much as you would in other circumstances. I think it is a good idea to fundraise specifically with the Thirst Project in mind, because it's very high impact for you to focus on that.
And then just to add one more thing, if you are looking for like fundraising ideas, especially in a virtual or remote setting, your lieutenant governor should have a list that I provide every month. And it's just a short list, and you might not use exactly what's there, but it could be a great way to start brainstorming. So if you're ever looking for ideas, feel free to reach out to your Lieutenant Governor.
Yeah, and I've also included Tara's list in the past biweekly updates. So if you just want to go to the website, like I mentioned, and you can look at that list directly to get some more ideas. The next question we have, any advice for how to get members back into online Key Club as summer ends? I think the best thing that you can do is make sure that they register for Key Club Days. So the Key Club Days registration deadline is September 1st, and it will cost $5 through the shop, like I mentioned. But it's a great way to introduce them to Key Club. If it's an existing member, then just get them hyped up about Key Club again, because we have a lot in the program that's very interactive with other clubs and other divisions, and we're trying to get as many people from the district as possible. We have a lot of different opportunities now that it is virtual, and I think that would just be a great way to kick off the school year. And then also making sure that they attend all of the webinars that we've been hosting. We have lots of different opportunities nearly every week or bi-weekly, and it'd be really great for them to attend these meetings so they get used to the virtual space, and then they're able to then, when you host your own virtual club meetings, they'll be more comfortable with it.
I think something that other clubs have also been doing that is a creative idea is to implement service projects that you can do virtually together independently. So if you do an independent service project together, but like at your home, but together over Zoom, then you can also count those for service hours, which is an incentive for members to show up. I think having an incentive is the best way to get members to like get themselves out of bed and roll into a meeting, because we're really out of our normal routines. So setting up a new routine also is a good idea for your club, because then members know what to expect and members will get into the habit of showing up again.
Awesome. Moving on to the next question. What are some ways to increase service engagement with club members during quarantine? So I think one thing that you can do is partner with your sponsoring Kiwanis Club. I'm sure they're also doing a lot of different service activities right now that involve social distancing and keeping safety in mind. And I think if they already have those opportunities available, it'll be great for you to tag along then and have your club members tag along, not only so they can have these service opportunities, but also to foster some more connections with their Kiwanis Club. And then also, if you need help with creating service projects or hosting service projects, both virtually or with safety in mind, you can always contact your Lieutenant Governor, and they should be able to help you with that because that's what they're there for. Do any of the other execs want to add to that? Okay. We can move on to the next question. What do you recommend to getting already existing members to become officers? So I think inviting them to your officer board meetings would be great, because then they see exactly what you do, and they can then see if they're interested in that position and if they are capable of fulfilling the same responsibilities. Making sure that they're aware of all of the district resources that we have to offer, because we are hosting so many different virtual opportunities like Key Club Days and these webinars. It'll probably be a responsibility on them to then attend these and relay that information to their club. Making sure that they're in contact with your local Lieutenant Governor, because presidents especially and all of the other officers will work closely with your Lieutenant Governor throughout the year. And so make sure that they're comfortable with that, and maybe having them have a conversation with your Lieutenant Governor to see if an officer position would be fit for them.
If your club also has areas that it wants to focus on, like membership growth and retainment, or fundraising for either the Thirst Project or something in your community that you want to raise funds for in particular, you could also look into forming committees within your clubs and appoint committee chairs or liaisons, and that could be a really good way to get already existing members just to give them an understanding of what holding some sort of office in Key Club is, even if it is an appointed office, and then that might help them understand the decision of whether or not they want to apply to be an officer in the upcoming service year.
Next question, what are some service ideas that we could do online? I think Alice elaborated on that. Alice, do you maybe want to talk a little bit about that again?
Yeah, sure. So most of these service projects are service projects that are coming in through secretary reports. So I don't have like super duper details on them, but we've been seeing a lot of people working with Letters for Literacy to create literacy packets for schools and young children that are learning how to read. We've been seeing people participate in the Thirst Project Bingo, which is a great way to contribute to the district project as well as do some service. We've been seeing mask making at home. We've been seeing like care packages being made at home, or people will independently collect materials for the care packages, and then one person will sort of be the person that puts them together and sends them out. A lot of the service projects that you would usually do that you would do together, aside from being at like runs or gardening efforts or cleanup efforts, most of the things that you do together you actually can do at home or over like a virtual platform. So if you're making dog toys, blankets, something like that, if you can find a way to get the materials to everyone, or if you can find a way for everyone to get the materials on their own, then just doing it over a Zoom meeting has actually been really successful. I think mask making, care packages, and Letters for Literacy have been really easy projects for people to do, and projects that people can do sort of repetitively and still have an impact. But as the district secretary, I would want to recommend the Thirst Project Bingo to you because it's fun and it's a good way to get involved with what the district is doing, and it's a very high impact project without being like super stressful or materials heavy. So I think that is something that you should take a look at.
Absolutely. I would agree with Alice to participate in the Thirst Project Bingo, and then you could always work with your officers and advisors to give people service hours for it.
And adding on, I think it's important to when you're deciding what service projects you're going to do in a virtual setting, it's important to understand where your members lie in terms of accessibility. So if you're doing a very material heavy service project, but your club is generally those materials are not as accessible for the individuals, make sure to take that into account when you are making that decision. And if it is something, if your members aren't able to access those materials, then maybe look towards doing something that can be more accessible, whether it be like a paper pen thing, like card making or something, or whether it be fundraising through campaigns like the Thirst Project Bingo. So make sure you're selecting something that is accessible to all of your members to make sure that you get the most members engaged in your service project.
And also contact your local Kiwanians. They might have ideas for you, and they might have been doing things that you might be interested in participating in as well. We have some Kiwanians that are super creative and they have super duper great ideas that have been helping us a lot as well. So you should contact your local Kiwanis club and delve into their large packets of knowledge.
Jess, do you want to talk about the clubs who've been fundraising and doing service projects that you spotlighted in What's Poppin' PNW?
Yes. So I know, for example, let me pull it up. The Division 28 had one club in particular that was working very hard in spotlighting. Nathan mentioned that nearly 50 officers were trained in their roles for the term, so it was a great OTC, and because of that, it shows that his division's doing very well in fundraising. They have been making a lot of knit blankets and mask making and baking goods for people in need. And then definitely spotlighting Division AYS. They've been working really hard in fundraising for stuff. On June 5th, they were out on a local road that they worked in partnership with the Kiwanians, and they were cleaning up the road, which was really cool. And I know that Alyssa's division, the LTG, for that one, they've been working really hard on fundraising for the Thirst Project. So definitely keep in mind that when you are working in fundraising, to definitely take the opportunity right now to do the Thirst Project Bingo and definitely raise some money for that. And just spotlighting Division 56, I know recently they did a lot of campaigning in Division 22 and 24. Were spotlighted on the PNW Key Club Instagram because they were going out and doing the Thirst Project Bingo. And individuals too have been doing that, so please remember to do the Thirst Project Bingo.
Next question, do you have any ideas on how Key Club meetings would work through this virtual platform? So Key Club International and including the PNW district are working on providing some virtual meeting resources this year. Glory, do you want to talk about what Key Club International is going to release in the fall?
In terms of what specific resources are you referring to?
For virtual meetings.
So if you look out for the Key Club Instagram, we will probably be releasing some forms that do give you information about how to conduct virtual meetings. Right now, Key Club International is really relying on trustees to give each individual district that type of information. And in my updates, I will be giving out information for how to get back into virtual meetings, especially with school coming up very soon. So you can always be looking out for that. And if you look out for the Key Club website as well, we will probably be also posting resources there and articles on how to conduct virtual meetings, especially if you may be unsure whether or not you can have club meetings this year, especially with schools, you know, kind of some schools are canceling extracurriculars. So we will definitely be posting that stuff soon, probably sometime in mid-September.
Great, and similar to that, the Membership Growth and Reactivation Committee within PNW is working on making a virtual engagement toolkit, and I'm sure that'll include a lot of different information like meeting agendas, service project ideas, fundraising ideas, a lot of the stuff that we really already released through the bi-weekly updates and through these webinars, but just putting it all together, condensed in one toolkit, and this toolkit will be accessible on the issue. And so you can always go to issue.com/PNWKC to see that. And that will probably be released during our membership campaign that will be happening sometime in September, October. And so you'll be able to have all of the resources you need to start Key Club meetings. But really, it's up to you to work with your officers and also your advisors to make sure that you have a platform that is reliable to host meetings. So maybe if it's on Google Meets through your Google Classroom, or if you want to do Zoom and purchase a Zoom Pro account so it's safe. Once you have those reliable platforms, and then it's about creating an agenda that's interactive, engaging, then also productive, and making sure that your members are going to want to come to these meetings, and you have different discussion-based activities, especially rather than just a straight presentation, maybe how you would normally at a normal Key Club meeting in person, and then also asking your members what they would like to see at meetings. I think this is a really great opportunity because a lot of different activities like sports or competitions that really rely on in-person aspects will no longer be operating, and so Key Club can be a really great way for your school to connect with each other. And so working with your ASB maybe to host these Key Club meetings to help get them more involved and then get more people involved, I think would make them more successful.
Yeah, and in terms of like things that you should do right away, I think a lot of people are stressed out about membership recruitment. I think clubs should really focus on retention right now. We do have a recruitment and retention toolkit available on the PNW website. Things in that toolkit might operate a little bit differently than how you usually would in an in-person setting. I would recommend really working on retention. If you're an officer, talk to your members. If you're a member, talk to your officers about some things that you would like to see from these meetings, whether that's speakers from the district, like your LTG or your execs might be able to show up to a meeting. You can have other people sort of show up to the virtual meeting and provide some kind of a presentation that is interesting, and just really try and get engagement higher. In terms of new recruitment, I would suggest working with your faculty advisor to get an email list of incoming freshmen so that you can send out the links to them and make sure that they know what's going on and that they're interested. Right now is also a really good time to do that because we have a great introductory event, which is Key Club Days coming up in September. So I think that that's a good way to get people interested in what we have to offer, especially because so many organizations are up in the air right now with what they can do. Key Club is actually relatively grounded. We sort of have found a new rhythm and we have resources coming out and we are finding a new normal where we're able to complete activities. So it's an appealing organization right now because we can actually do things. So in terms of like next steps now, I would suggest working on retention and sort of figuring out a new program for your meetings that include engaging activities instead of what you would normally just do and like socialize, like actually physically do something. And also look into your incoming freshmen and introduce them to some of these introductory meetings and events that we have to offer, because we do have a lot.
I think that one big thing to keep in mind when you're deciding your agendas for your online Key Club meetings is that one of the biggest differences with being in a virtual setting versus being in person is that students aren't going to be able to move around as much, and especially if your meetings are on school days or like right after school hours, they have probably already been sitting in their at their desk or wherever they work for the entire day. So really keep that in mind when creating your agendas for those meetings, and try to incorporate things that will be more interactive so that members will won't just be listening to you the whole time, because that's probably what they've been doing the whole day. You can definitely have a presentation aspect of your meetings, but definitely don't make the entire thing a presentation, as members really won't feel the need to engage after like 3 or 4 meetings if that just is like continuously the same agenda you have.
Okay, next question for Alice. When is the last day to send out the district directory information for this round?
So I'm collecting district directory information from all members and clubs and divisions, of course, continuously.
Hello?
Pardon? So I'm collecting all of that continuously. So if you have information, just send it to me as soon as possible. I do know, I think it's Haley asking this question, correct? If you are in LTG, you should send it in to me before the 30th so that I can get it into the next round. However, I do just want to make it clear that just because it's past August 30th doesn't mean that you still can't submit information. If you have information, please, please, please just get it to me whenever, as soon as possible, so that we can get that out to the district as well.
Next question. So recently our Key Club had started a builders club at our local middle school. What service projects can we give them, especially since they can't drive? Seeing that they especially can't drive, that's probably really great for you to take advantage of the virtual setting and participate in the service projects that we've already mentioned. All of the different ones that Key Club could participate in, making sure that your Key Club and advisors are all available to help partner with the middle school to provide them accessibility and the resources they need to participate in these service projects. But all of the service projects that we've previously mentioned can be relayed to them.
I've seen just one that I thought had quite a significant impact. A builders club, I can't remember what division it was from, but they made a video. They all took separate videos at their own homes, and then their advisor stitched it together, and then they sent it to a local senior center, just like talking about what they've been doing and just giving updates on their life. It was a very not serious video, but it seemed to have a very, very strong impact in their community, and it was just like a very positive thing in this often not so positive time. So if that's something that interests you, that would also be something to look into, because you don't really driving and moving around isn't really required when you're taking videos in your own homes.
Next question. I'm unclear whether Key Club meetings are virtual or not this year. So the district isn't necessarily the one who dictates whether your Key Club meetings are virtual or not. It's really up to your school district and your school. And so making sure that you talk with the administration and you keep up to date on what the school board posts for the safety guidelines, if your school is going to be virtual this year, if your school is going to have blended learning, really deciding and working with them and your officers to see if it's tangible to host virtual meetings or if it's tangible to host in-person meetings. But I would say just keep in mind that virtual meetings are probably the best way to go and the best way to keep everyone's safety in mind. But really work with your school district, work with your administration, and just follow the safety guidelines posted by your district in general.
I'm also seeing the correction in the chat that from the same person that says that they're unclear whether Key Club days are virtual or not this year. The Key Club Days programs are going to be held virtually over over Zoom, over a virtual platform, and you can register for that through the PNW Key Club shop, which I've linked in the chat. If you don't know what region your Key Club Day is, then you should ask your lieutenant governor, or you can shoot one of us an email before you register. And if you have previously been to any of the in-person Key Club days, then the region should be the same. So if you're in the Eastern Washington, sort of Idaho area, then you're going to be going to Key Club Day East. Anyone in Oregon or like very Southern Washington, like Camas or Vancouver, would be going to Key Club Day South. And anyone in the sort of greater Seattle area would be up in Key Club Day North.
So we do have about 6 minutes left of this August exec chat. Just make sure if you do have any more questions, please include them in the chat or feel free to unmute yourself.
Or ask us some fun questions.
Fun questions work too. I think the main thing we all need to focus on right now is making sure that you and your officers and are promoting Key Club Days and getting your members to register for Key Club Days, especially if you haven't been hosting virtual meetings yet and it may be hard for you to get in the groove and to start hosting virtual meetings. And I think Key Club Days will help a lot in getting your members used to Zoom, getting you used to Zoom, and then seeing the benefits of having virtual activities with Key Club. And you don't necessarily have to be a dues paid member, especially with the dues circumstance this year and how dues is basically optional this year, just because we want to keep clubs in good standing. But that's a great way to keep members from last year to promote recruitment and retention, and to get people who may not necessarily been a part of Key Club to be a part of Key Club now, because they may have some activities that they no longer can participate in because of the in-person restrictions. So Nancy asked, how's life? I would say my life is going pretty well. I mean, especially with Key Club, we've been really busy trying to make the membership experience as best as possible, and we hope that you all are taking advantage of it, and just continue to stay up to date on what we're doing.
I guess we'll go in order. My life is going pretty well too. I'm very busy. I decided to replace all the free time that I had due to COVID with like other extracurricular activities. So aside from the work that I've been doing, like Key Club, aside from the work that I've been doing for Key Club, I'm writing as a columnist for More Color Media, which is an independent zine. I joined a climate organization as a finance director, which has been interesting. And I've also been doing a lot of reading and writing and just watching a lot of movies, which has been super fun. I think it's been an uncertain and stressful time, but also like a good time.
I guess I'll go next. I've kind of been doing the same thing as Alice, just because I've had a lot of time. I've been working on like a side passion project for South Asian youth in immigrant countries. I've also joined a climate organization, but this like Seattle chapter. And I also have been working on my side local service board that I found a couple years ago. I've also been watching a lot of Netflix. I just finished The Avatar, and I'm about to start The Legend of Korra. That's really fun. I've been cooking. I have made like 8 different variations of tofu because I'm vegetarian, but it's been fun. It's been fun.
I guess going next. Well, I mean, it's not that happy, but I found out I'm allergic to something now. So I've been dealing with that for the past few days and figuring out what I'm allergic to. I've been busy with a lot of like publications, so it's been a little bit stressful. And then I'm working for some reason now 5 out of 7 days of the week, so that's always fun. But I've been having a lot of caffeine, so it's been getting me through the day. That's all I can basically say about that.
Awesome. We have about 2 minutes left, so I think we can end with this last question. What's your favorite color and why? So my favorite color is baby blue. I don't know, it's just it's always been my favorite color, and I think I like how it aligns with the Thirst Project too, because the Thirst Project is like light blues. And it's just, yeah, I like that color.
I like primary colors, or like watered down versions of primary colors. So I like blue and red and yellow, and I also like light blue and pink and like lighter yellows. But if anyone asks, I always answer blue, and the answer is because when I was in daycare, when I was like 6, all of the markers were dried out in the marker bin except for the blue one. And the blue one was like brand new, and it was like a super juicy brand new Crayola marker, and I put it down on paper and I was like, this is it. This is the meaning of life. So from that moment, blue has been my favorite color, because that moment was just like too good to forget.
This is like my least favorite question ever, because like my favorite color changes every other day. But recently I've been into clay tones, like burnt orange and like olive tones. But if people ask, I usually say periwinkle. I don't know why. There's zero reason, there's zero like logic behind it. Periwinkle's a pretty cool color. It's probably not even my favorite, I just say it, so we'll just go with that one.
My favorite color, I like muted colors a lot because I think neon colors hurt my eyes. But if I had to choose, it'd be like a shade of blue, which is also periwinkle. And I chose blue because when I was adopted, they found me at a police station, and they found me in a blanket which was blue. So it kind of symbolizes that. So it's pretty special because of that, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for everyone for coming, and just make sure to contact us via email if you have any questions. Subscribe to our biweekly updates. I think Alice is posting all of our Instagrams in the chat, so make sure to follow those. But have a great night.
Oh, Jocelyn, I'm from Westview.